Hey everyone. I know it's been a little bit of time since my last What Sold video. Today's video is going to take place from December 1st until December 7th of this year, 2025. And we are going to cover the things that sold across all three of our selling platforms. On Mercari, we didn't make any sales during that first week of December, so we'll start off with Poshmark. On Poshmark, we sold this Talbot's top. It did have a little flaw I noticed after I got it from my mom to resell. So I was okay accepting a really low offer, and we sold it for $6. Next was this Brooklyn cloth jacket. It was kind of like a windbreaker material, and my mom found it, I think, at that consignment shop. And is it the consignment shop? I can't remember. And she thought it was kind of cool looking, had a neat little graphic design on the back. But I don't think it was really any great brand or anything. And so again, kind of like with that top, I was just happy to get anything for it. We sold it for $9. Next was this reborn doll. This actually ended up having us like lose money as far as profit goes. So that's what kind of affected our sales numbers this week. This was a doll that I had made back when I was making reborn dolls, and I consider my cost of goods for each doll at to be about $100 if they don't have hair. And this doll, I would say with my cost of goods was $100. This, of course, with reborn dolls, for anyone that doesn't know, kits can go anywhere. The kit that it costs, like that you use to make them, they can cost anywhere from like 20, 25, $30 to hundreds of dollars. But for most of the ones that I would just make to sell like this, I would get them at about 15 to 20. Then you have to buy a cloth body for them. You have to buy weighting material inside because they feel like real babies, and that tends to cost about $1 a pound. Polyfill, sometimes like scent wafers, things like that, magnets for inside their head, all of the things. And so it can really add up. And then you spend dozens and dozens of hours painting with these really expensive paints, and then you have to bake each layer of paint. It's super tedious. One of the many reasons I don't do it anymore. But anyway, so yes, cost of goods tends to be about $100 per doll. They the market is super oversaturated. Another reason I don't do this anymore. Um, and so it's hard now, I find, to sell them like I used to be able to. So just trying to get rid of the ones that I have made already. And yeah, unfortunately, they aren't selling for much. So this sold for $78. Oh, I forgot that I can open images in a new tab. So this is the one that sold for 78. So we were technically like, I feel like it was like 35 or something dollars um at a loss, like negative because of that. Then I sold these Havana Kate sneakers. I think that these sneakers I got when I bought these items off of Marketplace. I went to pick them up and the lady was like, "What size shoe do you wear?" Um, wasn't the size. And then I said, and my mom wears like, I think a 10 something. She was like, I have these 11s. Do you want them? And I was like, oh, sure. So I took them. She just included them with the items and they sold for $24. This really pretty Chico's top. It was really pretty. It had these like little beaded details here and then at the neck. I think I had this in one of my haul videos, and I think that it came from Goodwill. It sold for $20. Next was this fleece lined purple plaid button up from LL Bean, and it came from Goodwill as well. It sold for 20. And then lastly, a pair of straight ankle jeans from Goodwill, and they sold for 15. These were both from 2024, so they were some older items. Glad to get them out. So because of that little bit of a hit with the reborn doll, our profit was only $14.85 for that first week of December. Then we're going to move on to eBay. We sold another set of crock pots. I owe you guys a video. I know I keep saying I'm going to make one. I was just waiting for all of them to sell out, and they finally have. So this was a set of crock pots, and it sold for $44.99. An NHL um, Florida Panthers scarf. I found this at the church sale that my husband and I had gone to, where all of the clothing was like ridiculously cheap. We ended up getting everything for 50 cents a piece when all was said and done. I showed this to him when we went into the sale, and he was like, "Oh, gross," because we're Hurricanes as well as Seattle Kraken fans. And I was like, okay, well, you have to remember that just because you don't aren't a fan of this team doesn't mean that other people aren't. And they did win the Stanley Cup 2 years in a row. So I was like, there's probably some money to be made here. And it did sell for $20, which was awesome. I remember that we had bought this um last season, which is technically like just before the summer. And we didn't list it. And then the Panthers won. And I was like, oh, we lost like such an opportunity there. I feel like it would have really sold well. But luckily, it still sold. Just even when the Panthers weren't playing too well this season. But a fan's a fan. So yeah, $20 for that. This Michael Kors top, which I believe my mom gave me to resell, and it sold for 14. And lastly, a Santa t-shirt, which had been up here, I think, since 2023 or 2024, and it sold for $8.40. That brought our total profit on eBay to $43.49, and our total profit altogether to $58.34, which is like insanely low for December. And I realized because I'm here at work, when I was looking at my notebook to do this, it's like I just this was like my notebook from last year. So it was kind of interesting that I could compare numbers to, I mean, which I always can, but it was just right here. My December goal from last year was $1,300. This year our monthly goal is 1,000, and we'd not been hitting it. But last year in December, the first week we made $259 profit. Compared to this year we made 58. That's a $200 difference. Oh my gosh. Yeah, $200 difference between years. That's that's sad. I don't like that. The biggest difference with Poshmark that year we made like $200 profit. That's crazy. Just in that one week. And that whole month of last year of December, we made just under $1,200. I don't know about this year. Things have just gone so slow with reselling. I will say though that a lot of that has probably had to do with me not constantly or consistently uploading new items, even though I've been doing that delist and relist and editing old listings and everything that I had done a video on a few weeks to about a month back. Um, I mean, I have like about 100 envelopes, which is what I store my items in my workroom that are empty that I could be putting new items in and listing new items. I did take about a week ago, I did take some time to do some more cross posting because I didn't even realize that I had items under my desk that had been listed on Poshmark but not cross posted yet. So I did cross post that, and we'll see. I don't even know if any of that has sold yet, but I did do that. And I have a lot more envelopes that I can fill. I do have some career changes coming up within the next few weeks, which will hopefully lend itself to giving me more time to work on my business. But that's a whole nother video that will be coming up in the future. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed seeing the few sales that we made that first week of December, and fingers crossed y'all's were better than ours. but sales are sales. So I'm grateful for that. But that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.